episode 173. We were gamers, guys. JJ, Michael, welcome back.
Hello.
It's another Prime episode.
Ooh, that's true.
Ooh.
Prime mea culpa for a moment. This is a lot of We Were Gamers podcasts that went up this week.
What? What do you mean? People that were certainly watching this on our YouTube didn't notice anything.
That's true. There was a little bit of a snafu, kerfuffle, collapse of my ability to do things right. I'm not quite certain what happened, but in a related matter.
Yeah, why don't we talk about why you were distracted?
Yeah, we were a little disrupted because I only had a day and a half to prep all that sort of stuff after last week's podcast, and I didn't do it quite right because we had to get out of town, Michael.
Yeah, indeed. We had to go not fall in a big hole in the ground.
I feel successful, considering having taken people, like a large group of people, and a bunch of children, and not one of them fell in, and then we heard the statistics of how many people, JJ, fall into the Grand Canyon every year.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure we were talking about the Grand Canyon and not some other kind of, like, horrible anti-hole in the earth or something. But
no, we haven't gotten to Ava part 2 yet.
Oh, spoiler alert for later in the podcast. I bet it's way more people than anyone thinks, because I bet that first fall isn't that far, right? Like, you don't instantly die from that first fall?
In certain sections, there are ledges below the main lip, yes, but not everywhere.
Right. I'm sure there are places you can fall and absolutely will die. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I bet the number is higher than it should be. Am I right about that?
Yeah, the number's pretty... the number is climbing.
Of course it is. Because I bet people are like leaning out to take selfies or something dumb.
There you go.
Exactly.
But of course.
In 2015, I think it was like 50 people that had fallen in that year. 40 of which were male.
Uh-huh. Because people want to like lean over and get that sweet down the canyon shot, and then they die.
But, out of... Relatively speaking, there's, like 6 million plus people that go to the Grand Canyon, and only about 12 that actually bite it after they fall off.
Yeah, I mean, that ratio is good. The odds are in your favor, but that's still more people than should fall into a very obvious hole.
Yeah, really.
PSA listeners, don't be that guy.
Don't be the actual person that we saw doing exactly the thing that we then turned 9. We took all 9 children, pointed them one direction, and said, "That is the dumbest thing that your daddy has ever seen in his life."
Man.
As a man stood on a rock outcropping that he had to jump to with his selfie stick, backing towards the canyon.
That's the part right there.
Yep.
That's the part. Not going to do that part.
But we also saw people doing amazing things like painters that were painting the Grand Canyon, etc. Large group of us went out there as a tradition for, I would say, Michael, it's kind of like your work almost.
Yeah, that's how we all know each other.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. It was a fun trip. A lot of car time, though. Woof.
Yeah, it turns out stuff is kind of far apart in Arizona.
And when stuff gets rural and there's 2-lane highways and they have big crashes, you got to go around.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours around.
Ooh.
But
you can't just like off-road it a little bit.
I mean, I could off-road it just a little bit, but the cops probably wouldn't like me off-roading it a little bit.
Oh, the police.
Yeah.
Always there to ruin everyone's fun.
Yeah, it was apparently 3 hours before they got it cleared.
Oh, God.
Well, going around was faster.
There you go.
Arizona does
see more of the canyon.
Yeah. Arizona does have good pizza, we found out.
Okay. I mean, pizza is a good thing to have everywhere, so I would be disappointed if there was only bad pizza.
Well, especially if you've been hiking a lot. There's a lot of hiking to do in Arizona.
Also, breakfast burritos.
Oh, yeah, those were good too. Mm-hmm.
The Southwest of the United States continues to win in every regard there.
JJ.
Yes.
Burrito. Okay.
I love burritos.
First of all, side of home fries.
You've already sold me. You just said burrito and I'm in.
It gets better.
On a
Okay.
plate. Okay, but wet burrito.
Okay, I'm less in now. I'm backing away.
But topped with not salsa, but hollandaise.
Okay. And this is the eggs and
Eggs?
some form cheese meat kind of thing.
Eggs, cheese, pork belly,
Okay.
jalapenos.
Okay. I want that, but I don't want that hollandaise. That hollandaise is making it bad.
I was not on board with the hollandaise. I tried to get it on the side,
Yeah.
and it came with it on it. And then, yeah, it was good. It was it's like one of those things that you had to be forced to try, and then you're like, oh, wait, eggs on eggs.
Let's examine it, right? Like, what's in hollandaise?
Eggs.
There's like eggs and like butter, I think.
Yeah.
Probably just that. So it's probably going to
eggs.
taste good. It's probably going to taste good. But the idea in my mind is that's a big no. That's a no for me, dog. I'm out.
Well, this place had a really good Chipotle homemade sauce, too.
Yeah. Everything else about that burrito sounded A+. So if you could if they actually did the side thing, that would be the burrito I want.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
Solid, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Arizona, for a fun time.
How long is that car ride, though?
Ooh, 7 hours?
Yeah.
Oof.
Give or take.
Depending on how much you're willing to chance the existence of their freeway speed cameras.
Oh, man. Does Arizona do the, like, average speed camera thing like England?
I believe so. I don't know how they tag you for what speed, etc., but I do know the main thoroughfares down in Phoenix have them, and I think there are some up north too.
Man.
I mean, Michael, you probably saw some driving down through Phoenix.
We didn't quite get into Phoenix. We kind of skirted around it.
Gotcha. The best way to see Phoenix.
Not be in Phoenix.
Not go directly through. Well, that ends the vacation minute.
That sounds like it was a good minute, though.
It was a good minute. It was
I think everybody had a great time, especially the kids.
Oh, dude. There was like you could stand outside in the nighttime and watch thunderstorms roll by.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was pretty awesome.
It was legit. There was a fishing pond.
That's fun.
Yeah.
There wasn't as much excitement as for the fishing pond as thunderstorms.
You know, in California, we don't really have weather, so
We've got fish.
Fair. We do have fish. We have lots of good fish, sushi, etc.
Mhm.
We played some Nintendo while we were out there.
Heck
Spanked
yeah.
some people at some Smash. Tried a little Kirby out with some extra carrot players. Played some Xbox, etc. But I want to hear what's been going on back here. I know what Michael's been up to, but I want to hear what's going on here, JJ. What have you been playing?
This was one of those rare weekends where I actually got to play games.
What?
I know we had been away for a wedding previously, so this was kind of our it's time to be done with that for a while weekend. And so
just no, we're not. Somebody calls you like, we're gonna have the wedding this weekend. You're just like, no, canceled.
Yeah, look, we're done with that for now. Weekend.
You're
so,
running
yeah.
into the end of the year here. A lot of people don't. I think October is kind of like the last of the weather people are willing to chance a wedding for.
Yeah, outdoor weddings for sure, right?
Yeah, they move indoors after that.
So I think our calendar is open, I guess, at this point. But never say never, I suppose.
Ooh, all right, open calendar, I like it.
But that doesn't mean we're not busy. It just means there's no more weddings on the calendar.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyway, so I actually did get to play some games this weekend, and I started a new one, Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Trace Casa?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. For folks who don't know anything about this game, think of it as a tactical battle game and Harry Potter, and you kind of just smash them together. Yep, that's where we're at. Like medieval fantasy Harry Potter tactical battling game.
Okay, you're a Fire Emblem aficionado, right? Like, I mean, you played 3DS.
As are you, Andrew, right? And Michael as well.
Oh.
Did you play these games, Michael?
I have never actually played a Fire Emblem game.
Oh, man. Okay. Andrew, you've played at least one or two of these games.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have a hard time finishing them.
They're very long.
The battle system, the classic Fire Emblem battle system, incentivizes you to save scum because the permadeath. And also the game is hard with the tactical wheel of fighting, advantage, and things do a lot of damage. And so the battles, especially later on, take quite a bit of time when you're like, I can't let these people die. I have to keep maneuvering into different positions, and we're hardly fighting. We're just moving.
Yeah.
A lot of that type of stuff happens in the, what I'll call the classic Fire Emblem system, which they kind of are starting to, sounds like, maybe move away from, but I find other tactical games like FF Tactics or Jeanne d'Arc or those types of systems where they're a little more forgiving to be extremely fun. So
I think you specifically will like this one quite a bit then. That little weapon triangle that used to be the hallmark of Fire Emblem, I just gave it away right there. I said used to be. It's not in this game.
Okay, what did they replace it with?
So the weapons all have their own various like attack powers and speeds and all this sort of stuff.
Do they still have their attack arcs and stuff where you can like attack 2 spaces with this, or?
Sure, some weapons will be able to attack 2 spaces away, some only 1. That sort of stuff is still there. But there's not a thing like, if I attack this lance guy with a sword, I am automatically at a horrible disadvantage. Or, if I attack this sword guy with an axe, I'm at an automatic horrible disadvantage.
Right, because by the 3DS one, you're like, anybody that's on a horse with an axe is all that I want.
Right, because eventually, like, you find the part of the triangle that you just want to be in, and then you just, make your people unstoppable monsters that attack first all the time, and you always,
get Doral.
Handle it. Yeah. Well, without that drawback, you just have to rely on the character's various stats, which are, very similar to the Fire Emblem stats of yore. It seems like there's some changes to how the speed stat works a little bit so that you're not always like either just getting completely destroyed and you attack, but they attack you first, even though you're attacking them. It seems like basically...
Yeah, and then did they keep the side-by-side thing where sometimes you get double attacks or the other person that's next to you might take the hit for you and all that sort of stuff?
So I haven't encountered any abilities like that one in particular, but they do eventually allow you to sort of attach characters to other characters so that they can keep gaining experience even if they're super low level.
That system had existed before too, right? Where you party them up or create...
A version of that system existed before, but like they would add stats onto the main character. Here they don't do anything. They just kind of tag along for free experience.
Do they count against your total for the battle?
You have a limited number of people that you're allowed to attach, and it changes as the series goes forward, or as the game goes forward.
But those attachments, like Fire Emblem, also notably, like you can only bring 4 people to this battle.
Right. The amount of people you can attach is limited, and the number of units you can bring is also limited.
So attachments are not units.
They're not people on the map. They don't do anything. Maybe every so often they'll like take an action to heal your guy or whatever, like random chance-based stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But in true Fire Emblem fashion, right, you want to pair up the people who have the best support levels with each other so that they like, get along well or whatever.
Yeah, man. You got to get them ready to get married and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know that there's marriage in this game.
Come on, it's Fire Emblem.
You're playing in a high school?
Yeah, you're playing in a high school.
So you're a teacher, though, right? You're not a high schooler.
Yeah, you're the professor.
Yeah.
Which makes it more awkward, really, I would say.
I mean, only if you're not setting up the students with each other.
Sure. But the game, anyway, I'm not very far into the game, so I don't really know where it goes. But I can definitely say that it feels like it would be weird to do that.
Okay.
But
okay, fair enough.
But I hear there's a whole bunch of things that happen in this game, so who knows?
I just feel like it would be very Japanese for the professor to like have a side mini game of trying to like set people up with each other.
Well, there is a mini game where you can have tea with your students. Let's talk about getting a perfect tea time.
Yeah, come on. That's the same thing.
You have to pick the conversation topics they're going to be interested in.
Are you kidding me?
No, this is exactly how it works.
There's a tea time and you have to make conversation.
Yeah, you're making small talk over tea. Pick a tea they like, or not. It's not clear to me how much the tea you pick affects the bonus you get out of it or not. But then you can pick the various, like, you get 3 selections of 3 choices of conversation topics, and if they like it, you get like a support bonus, and if they don't like it, they're kind of just like, they don't have much to say to you, and then it's like awkward.
Okay, now I'm really curious about what this game actually is, because first of all, it's 3 houses, not 1 professor, and it's also not tea time. So, like,
but you're a professor at the school. You can go up to kids in the other classes and be like, "Hey, man, do you want to have tea?" And they can say no or yeah.
Okay, first of all, leaving that aside to what you would get away with for real. How does that fit into the gameplay though? Because like, I don't know if we want too many spoilers about like what the story is, but
I'm not going to spoil anything.
I just am curious. It doesn't sound like from the design of the game that you play as the professor forever, or why does the professor care about what his relationships are if you're going to pick a house?
Well, so you pick a house pretty close to the very beginning of the game, like within the first like 45 minutes or something. You do one battle and then you will pick your house shortly after that. So it's pretty quick. So you don't get like a great view of all the students and the various people in the school and whatnot before you have to pick, but you do get some kind of an idea. So you know, like, oh, hey, this is the like Holy Empire, Holy Knights kind of people. These are the like fun merchant people, and these are the like stuffy noble kind of imperial people. Okay,
so once you're like lead general of the Hufflepuff, you can only have tea with the Hufflepuff?
No, you can still go, because you can then go to the students in the other houses and try to recruit them to your house.
Oh man, you can't put a Slytherin in a Hufflepuff house.
Nah, but you can bring the Slytherin in and be like, what if Slytherin is not that good, and what if it was time to be in Ravenclaw or whatever.
I'm out of my league here.
And then the various students will be like, well, maybe, but like I really enjoy my current class, and plus you, professor, are at your writing stat and your magic, so I don't want to join you. And then you could be like, but what if I used all these points in magic and then took a bunch of classes to make my writing skill better? And then they're like, well, wait a minute, I could learn so much from you, professor. Of course I'll join your house.
Interesting.
So then you get the students from your house that you've chosen, right? Like by default, and then you can go pick and choose some of the ones from the various other ones. There are certain ones you're not allowed to pick from the various other houses. Like you can't recruit the head of the other house, right? Kind of probably story reasons for that. I can't say, but it seems like that would be reasonable. And there's like 1 or 2 people in each other house that you aren't recruitable. It's not clear to me exactly how that works, but there are definitely some people, probably also for story reasons, that you
do not drop list.
Yeah, exactly.
The do not drop list.
Yeah, the will not turn against their house list. But yeah, it's been fun. I've been running around school. So like it's kind of split between 2 parts of the game. There's a part where you run around the school and sort of do various actions to sort of improve your students' motivation so they can learn better in class, and that includes doing tea time stuff and finding random objects and going fishing and doing gardening and all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
The mini game stuff. You can go in there and have dinner with your students, or take them to classes, or you, the professor, take like faculty classes with the other instructors to level your skills.
Maybe that's what's been preventing me from finishing a Fire Emblem game, is because Fire Emblem mini games were always just like, do a different type of battle.
Yeah, so there are those also. You can sort of choose to spend your free days doing battles as well to like level up or whatever. But as far as I can tell, I mean, that doesn't seem essential. I guess I should mention the various like difficulty settings and stuff. I took some recommendation from various people that I know that are playing it, and I played the game not on normal, but on hard. However, on the casual setting, so there's no permadeath.
Do you lose experience when you guys die, though? Or they're like they don't get any for the battle? Or
they get, as far as I can tell, they keep what they've earned, but obviously when they're dead, they can't get any more, right?
Or knocked out.
It doesn't say anything. They just like disappear and they come back afterwards.
So gotcha. How do the 2 difficulty sliders work then, and what do they affect?
So the first, there's a easy, normal, hard, and I think there's a nightmare or a maddening difficulty.
Sure.
That is like basically the difficulty of the combat.
Okay.
And then there is a second unrelated slider that is classic or casual. And classic and casual basically control permadeath, and I don't think much else. Maybe like there's some mission conditions or something that get altered based on that because of the permadeath thing. But as far as I can tell, it's basically just like permadeath on off.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And so playing with permadeath off then allows you to kind of just go, okay, like, so I turned the difficulty up from normal to hard because a lot of people told me that normal was extremely easy, especially once you get to like the mid and late game. Like,
and if nobody's dying on you,
you're just kind of running over everything, right? And so then it's like, well, okay, so I want some challenge. So I played it on hard. It was not terribly difficult in the beginning thus far, so that seems to have been a good choice. I definitely had to like think, and very early on, you also get kind of a rewind time ability per battle, and so I've definitely had to use those because like I made a play that I thought was good, and then immediately got owned by like a bunch of guys appearing out of the walls or whatever.
So this is kind of like the what's that mech game that you guys played a lot of?
Into the Breach.
Into the Breach rewind.
Oh yeah, it works very similar. Yep, you can just go like, in fact, it's like a scrolling list all the way back to the beginning of the battle, and you can just scroll back as far as you want.
That's way more forgiving than Into the Breach.
Yeah, it is way better than the Into the Breach one. The difference is you only get limited uses. They seem to maybe increase as the game goes on, but I'm still early, so I only have like one. But it is obviously extremely useful. But then like your guy dies, but it's not like that guy's dead forever. So next battle you can bring him back, and
I just like that they basically prevent you from having to wait through a bunch of loading screens to restart a battle and that they know you're going to restart. Yeah.
So my understanding is the rewind thing also exists in the permadeath mode. So it might be more useful there, obviously. But I would imagine that the like I've still had people die, and I'm like, well, all right, it's near the end of the battle. I know there's only like 8 more units or whatever. I can soldier onward, and that guy will just catch up next battle or whatever. Nice. It's fun. I think the characters are fun. There's definitely like people who are like, oh, this person looks fun. I would like to recruit them into my house. But then I have to work on my professor's skills because he sucks at flying or riding or whatever.
Nice.
My guy's like a melee guy, so getting the magic users has been difficult.
It seems like it grabbed you right off the bat here.
Yeah, it's very fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. So look forward to hearing more about that from me in the next few weeks.
Speaking of grabbing things, maybe not the best transition, but I want to talk about Ring Fit Adventure for a minute.
Oh boy.
Okay. I was hoping this might come up.
How could it not come up?
Exactly.
Did you watch the video?
It was certainly performed by people that were trying very hard to act.
Thank you. Did you notice how very clearly they both speak?
I am an actor who performs in commercials. Here is my pronunciation voice.
There you go. They were both very into pronunciation. So, that aside, because it was actually about halfway through the video, very enjoyable to watch them try to sell me Ring Fit. I was like, yes, put them back on the screen. I want to see them awkwardly hold the leg strap with 2 hands in front of them. But beyond that, I want to know how that ring works, like actually works, because it supposedly is some sort of adjustable tension device, but also electronic.
I mean, the answer is only Nintendo knows, but it looks like it's some kind of like motion sensitive thing.
They said also, yeah, it's motion sensitive, and also but that you could adjust it for people that are stronger or like, just starting to work out, or kids or whatever, in terms of its tension as well, which I want to know how they do that with that little ring. That's kind of cool.
Is it a resistance band then?
It looks like maybe you could switch out. There's a piece maybe you can switch out that is more resistant. That would make a lot of sense if like you could change out a piece of plastic to make it less rigid or more rigid. I kind of am interested in a giant bodybuilding dragon adventure.
I was just going to say, I'm just sad that the ring isn't big enough that you can use it as a hula hoop.
I feel like you probably lose some kind of precision there somehow, but like, I think the bodybuilding dragon is like both the dumbest and the greatest thing I've seen in a long time.
Well, the dumbest and greatest part might be the fact that you squeeze the ring to shoot out air, and that's your attack.
Yeah, it's like a air Hadouken, you know?
Yeah. The battles look cool where you have to like pick, okay, I have to do a green exercise to fight the green monsters or whatever. I don't know. I think We Fit and We Fit You lacked a draw to keep you playing the game really beyond like the novelty factor of it, I think. Like that I have one of those balance boards here somewhere. And not enough games use that, and a lot of... You had to really be into the Wii Fit to use the Wii Fit. Whereas this, maybe you don't have to be. Maybe they'll make it interesting enough. I don't know.
I think it's a good direction to go, because I don't necessarily want to generalize here, but I feel like sometimes the video game crowd is not always the super enthusiastic about working out crowd. And so finding a way to make working out into a game might be an easier way to get people into fitness as a part of their regular routine, and kids especially.
$80.
Not cheap.
Someone will buy this, though.
I might buy this.
Nintendo found a way to monetize cardboard, so
Yeah,
yes.
there you go.
For about half the price, you could have a Labo kit for whatever reason. All right. Well, I'm glad we all had the same opinion about the Ring Fit Adventure video, at least.
The video is extremely amusing. People should watch it.
The
product, who can say about the product, but the video is extremely amusing.
At the beginning, I was convinced it was a little bad. And by the end, I was convinced the Nintendo knew what they had made in that video.
I still think that Nintendo, in terms of clever uses of hardware, hands down, wins every time.
Absolutely. All right. We teased it at the top. We barely have enough time to get it in because I know it's going to be a long conversation. I think that we are on to part 2 of Neon Genesis Evangelion, episodes 7 through 14.
Or 8 through 14? Did we watch 7 last time?
Yeah, we did 7.
I think we watched 7 last time.
No, whatever. 8. We could rehash some of it if you want.
Do you have you guys figured out what the Cruel Angel's thesis is yet?
Oh. The Cruel Angel. No, I don't think so.
That's the title of the intro song. I don't know.
Yeah. But is it actually a thing we should be looking out for?
I mean, you should be listening to it every time because it's really awesome to listen to, but I don't have anything other than that.
Oh, okay. JJ, last time you said that you didn't think that the Christian motif multiple times throughout this show meant much.
Yeah?
You're a liar.
Nope. I'm right. Andrew, having seen the whole series and you have not, I can tell you that I'm correct.
Man, every single place you look, even when the angels die, there are crosses.
Yeah, there are.
They're talking about a dude in the basement of this place named Adam.
Yeah, man. I guess spoilers for all these episodes, right? Like up here at the top. We're just going to talk about all this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. And all the angels are named after like seraphim and actual Christian angels.
Yes,
and
I
stuff.
Looked up all those names during that recap episode at the end there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them are also from Kabbalistic and like Jewish mysticism.
Yeah, a lot
of
Apocrypha names.
Yeah. And, but I can go ahead and tell you, other than they sound cool, I don't think there's much other import to their their theology there.
I'm convinced that maybe are we saving theories for the end here? We got to work our way through what happens, maybe a little bit.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, let's talk about it, right?
All right.
Right up top here, we meet the newest Ava pilot, the second children which is still, by the way,
the German
dumbest
children
thing.
who listens to cowboy music, apparently.
Oh, I loved the German with a Japanese accent.
Yes.
Yo, all of Asuka's troubles with like, I'm really bad at your Japanese because it's hard to speak, and Shinji, why can't you just think in German? This would help me here. Like,
yeah. So Ava 2 is what she's the pilot of Ava 2, which is a non-prototype.
Correct. The first production unit.
And we learn is not quote-unquote compatible with the other two Avas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Meaning, my guess would be clone sort of thing, not a captured and repurposed angel or whatever the other Avas are.
They certainly haven't shown any kind of intercompatibility thus far anyway, so I'm not too sure.
And
at the end of this set of 7.
This set of things, there's the whole test thing they're doing.
Oh, right. Yes, you're right.
The cross-interface test.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I want to bring up
Kaji guy is that they introduce here is a terrible person.
Let's talk about Kaji, you guys.
Gosh.
How do we feel about Kaji? He sucks, right?
He literally just sucks.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's doing other stuff on the side later in these episodes that we're supposed to think is important.
He's clearly up to something.
But he sucks.
He sucks. He's not good. Clearly, he and the best girl, Misato, have some stuff.
They have
history. And then Kaji is just like all into like being a jerk every time he sees her, and like straight like real gross behavior. It's not good.
Yeah, and especially around Asuka. Ugh, weird.
Asuka being the perpetrator of that one is not great. Yeah,
I guess, do we talk about her on all of these episodes and how pretty much everything she does is kind of on the vein of making me very uncomfortable?
You know, she's a kid and she wants people to like her, I guess.
All right.
I don't have a lot of... I can't defend her too much.
Well, they amp it up again later. You know, there's a lot of nakedness again of 14-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to amp up now that they have 2 women. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, there's just no attempt, I think with her, unlike a lot of the other characters, there's no attempt to make her a sympathetic character so far. I think that's what it is that gets me.
They backtrack on it too, because what I thought was pretty cool is like, I guess the second episode that she's in is the coordinated music attack episode.
I actually really liked this episode.
I think it's fantastic.
It really funny.
That like episodes like 9 through maybe like 12 or 13 are maybe some of my favorite in the whole series. It's like 9 is specifically really great for all those moments of like them training, like doing DDR next to each other and like, oh my God. Great.
So they made her a little sympathetic there, and then they kind of like backed off of that. I'm like, actually, we need somebody that's kind of not like, well, I guess so you like the other people.
She's really like, she's always like telling Shinji what an idiot he is. And maybe by the end she is telling him he's an idiot in a like slightly less mean and more kind way, but still not really being nice. Right?
Yeah. So after episode 8 and maybe a little bit of 9, we enter 2 or 3 episodes here of what seems to be more like fillery type stuff where they try to capture a magma baby angel.
Does that seem filler-y to you? I mean, there's a thing that happens at the end of 8, right, that seems relatively important where Kaji delivers...
Oh, an embryo?
That weird thing in the case.
Embryo, yeah.
It's an embryo.
To Gendo.
Right, yeah, I forgot to mention that one. And then they try to capture an angel embryo.
Again,
Pacific,
right in 9.
Which looks real similar to the...
Pacific Rim style, again.
Yeah. 9 is a really cool episode, I think, just in general, with all of the, like... It's almost like a submarine episode, kind of. It's like, they're diving down into the magma, and it's really like, you hear the sound and all that stuff.
I think that's also where we learn that the second impact was not an impact, because clearly they tried to bring something up from the middle of the Earth and blew something up.
Oh, I think they talk about that in episode 7 a little bit. But yeah, it's like 7, 8, and 9.
Being
here.
an accident and not...
Yeah. Well, because the whole time they're trying to pull that thing up, they're saying we can't let the accident happen again.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. This is where one of the moments where I thought to myself, okay, there is some biblical stuff happening here where, that's a theory for the end. Forget it.
Okay.
And then in episode 9 or 10, magically out of nowhere, we get the Magi triple computer.
Oh, they've had it all along. You've seen it in shots of Nerve HQ.
Okay, but they haven't talked
definitely
about it at all.
No.
You definitely get more about the Magi here by episode 13 for sure. 13 gets way into it.
But then
you hear about them early on making decisions and that they all need to be in agreement.
But that's
they don't touch on it, so you don't know that it's a computer. I think when they first mentioned it, I thought it was some sort of tribunal.
Yeah, like a council or whatever.
Yeah.
But then
I totally had that.
Maybe around episode 9 or 10, they suddenly are consulting it for everything. They're plugging it into Ava's all of a sudden, and they're like, it's like, whoa, wait. What are these computers all about?
I thought episode 11, I think, is the one where they have the power outage.
Yeah, the sabotage, and the Eighth Angel shows up immediately.
And then all the people, like the students are all trapped outside and they have to make their way back into the base. And meanwhile, like Gendo and all the people from the control center are like going down there and pulling on cords to try and like get the Avas ready, to power them up manually, quote unquote.
Engines.
Yeah. I thought that whole scene was like really cool of like, here's all the the support personnel actually like, instead of pressing the like launch button, they're like in there, like tinkering on the mech to like, get it ready.
That episode and the episode where the support people are helping with the computer problem made me very sad that my theory is that they're all going to die.
Yeah. I'm sorry that's your theory.
Confirmation.
Nah, who knows what could happen? Obviously, a lot of things start happening here at the end of this.
Right. Yeah.
This
so I guess the computers, as we mentioned, there's like a problem with them because they're trying to integrate them into the testing.
An angel, microorganism angel breaks in.
There's a little bit of foreshadowing here. There's 3 computers and 3 Avas. Yes.
Yeah.
No,
maybe. Who can say?
I feel like there are more Avas coming.
Well, they've mentioned there are more Avas coming. There's like up to 8 being worked on or something.
They've talked about the production schedule with the little council of people there.
The Magi, until they opened them up, reminded me of Whopper.
Of what?
Whopper from War Games.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
And then they have the thing. So I like visually saw that. And then they have the thing where they're like, actually, we need to teach the AI that nuclear war, there's no winner,
Mm-hmm.
And they teach the angel that has worked its way into the base that
the angel
can't win.
No, the angel is all about evolution and it's evolving. And they make a statement that says the end of all evolution is death. So we have to accelerate its evolution for it to kill itself.
Or
which is like
kill itself or try not to kill itself.
No, it kills itself. That's the whole idea. Is they want to accelerate its evolution straight to death.
So that
which
was
is
my
a really
biggest
dark.
That was my biggest question. Because I thought they tried to convince it that it didn't want to evolve anymore and that it would back off because it didn't want to die. And so I thought, so there's just an angel living down there now that doesn't want to die.
Oh, they tried that at first, right? And then it didn't work, and like they, it overwhelmed the other 2 Magi like almost immediately. Yeah. You get a lot of stuff here about Ritsuko and her mom, who apparently created the whole Magi.
Created or
the Magi?
Created? Yeah, actually is the Magi. Yeah.
Wait, who knows? I don't know. There's how do they get so many brains?
There's straight up a brain in Casper.
Well, they talk
there's a brain in all of them.
Yeah, but they straight up say that they uploaded her personality into the AI.
They imply that they uploaded her personality, and then she opens the thing, and her brain is in there.
Well, I mean, how can you upload a personality into a computer, Andrew? There has to be a brain. That makes perfect sense.
Okay, well, no one.
Hold on. The only 3 parts of her personality, though: the woman, the mother, and the scientist. She couldn't be anything other than those.
Well, she couldn't also be in 3 computers with 3 different brains. So something's going on there.
If you can upload one personality, why can't you just copy it and
onto other brains?
I guess.
I don't know, but everybody in the support crew was not taken aback by the fact that there was a brain inside of the thing.
Or that,
did they even know?
As she was stabbing it with, like, little electrodes,
man, so she could reprogram it.
They were access ports.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was making a squishing sound.
It's still a
brain.
Okay. Okay.
Michael and I have our sync rate way up right here.
Yeah, you guys are like...
Yeah.
Don't you know what?
Also,
don't cross contaminate, you guys.
You should see this DDR.
They open the corridor and there's 800 notes plastered all around all the pipes and stuff inside, which is not at all weird and scary.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, this is a death room of
notes from her mother, who is the computer.
We also find out in the midst of this that Ava 1 is the most important Ava.
Or they say that it is, right?
Well, Ikari says that it is, because he tells them to launch it manually right now.
Sacrifice the other 2 if need be.
Is it the most important, or is Shinji the most important?
Well, Shinji can fly Ava, any of the Avas, as we've discovered, right? And Shinji and all the other pilots had already been ejected from the facility at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Shinji and Rei can't fly Ava 2 and vice versa.
No, Asuka can't fly Ava's 0 or 1, but I think Shinji could fly anything, is what they were saying.
The sync rate stuff becomes a big deal kind of from here on.
I'm really glad that it becomes a big deal, because I've paid way too much attention to it not to be a big deal.
Yep, sync rate is a thing.
Let's get into the sync rate, because apparently Rei has an acid trip because she got moved into Unit 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. And you finally see
an unhelmeted,
the weird green eye again.
Well, you see an wholly unhelmeted Ava, which is clearly a living thing.
Yep.
Also, is it during that test, or is it the test later?
This is the one where Unit 0 goes nuts with Shinji in it.
Right, yeah.
And they're like, oh no, it happened again.
It starts smashing at the window where Rei is standing, right?
Right.
Yeah. But Ritsuko is convinced that it's actually after her.
But it was clearly after Rei.
I think it's open to interpretation there. Definitely don't have all the facts, that's for sure.
No kidding. Of course, there are, in the background of this episode, tons of secret plans in motion that are super vague.
Yeah, you can see a lot of people
sitting at the center of his web.
Gendo being Gendo. There.
I love also that, JJ, you say it doesn't matter, but then again, they're like, the Dead Sea Scrolls predicted this stuff, and you're like, wait.
Oh, yeah, man. The Dead Sea Scrolls, they predicted all this stuff. That's true.
Yeah.
And at the very end of the episode, you see Rei retrieving the Lance of Longinus,
yes.
Which, if y'all are into your Christian mythology, is the spear that stabbed Christ. Except it's gigantic and mech-sized.
Bigger than an Ava, yeah.
I don't know how Jesus held that, but, whatever.
Well, Jesus didn't hold it.
I mean, his ribcage did.
Maybe we're going to find out, because, that's where this is heading, I think.
Yeah. Well, so you see some stuff going on there, definitely, at the end. Also, we skipped over this part earlier, but there was a time where Gendo actually told Shinji good job earlier in this set of episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like that's probably a rare occurrence.
Or the only time it's ever happened.
I also like that in every one
least.
of these episodes, and maybe since the beginning of the series, we've gotten some sort of we always have the odds, and the odds are always less than 1%.
Oh, yeah, what is the chance that this is going to work? Oh, it's 2%. Gendo's like, oh, that's pretty good. Let's go.
Oh, it's there's no way that there's more than a 0.08% chance of success. Okay, do it.
Like catching an angel falling out of space.
That whole episode was just the silliest thing.
I mean, synchronized dance attack.
The synchronized dance attack stuff, actually, I thought was really cool. whereas the like, let's all stand together and unite our power to throw up one giant AT field was kind of dumb.
While one of the Avas rips open the AT field with its hands.
Well, they've already set up that as something that the Avas can do.
Right. Ava 1 did it when he was berserk, and now they can just do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What they can do when they're berserk, they could do when they're not berserk. It doesn't make...
They can learn from it.
If the kids are smart.
Good point.
Or willing.
I do have to say that I've become quite annoyed by that cicada sound that happens anytime they're outside.
The true sound of summer right there.
How else are you supposed to know that they're outside and not just underground, Andy?
Ooh, he got you, because the geofront, bro.
Who cares about the geofront? Ikari doesn't, so why should I?
Do you guys even understand what the geofront is? They don't make it very clear.
It seems to be a cavern.
It seems to be a giant cavern underneath Tokyo 3 that is like miles and miles deep with an inverted pyramid underneath it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of weird.
It is.
How did it get there? How did no one notice?
There was a...
They talk about how many layers of armor it has. It's like 40 layers of armor or something during that one episode. I just think the idea is hilarious. Go ahead, Michael.
Speaking of things that are below the surface, there was a moment that I really liked in one of the episodes. The one where they're on the battleships and Asuka gets dragged under and the angel basically plows through the underwater city.
Oh, where you see the submerged Tokyo?
The submerged Tokyo. I just thought that was a nice touch, right? Rather than just having it plow across the ocean floor, just a reminder that, the polar ice caps melted and flooded the world.
Right, because they're in Tokyo 3, and now you never thought about where Tokyo 1 was, but now you know, right?
Well, first part of that's so cool is the sinking of the battleships into its mouth.
Yes, that was literally a sweet move.
But I think that leads into one of the things I wanted to talk about, where I think JJ's wrong, is that they mentioned multiple times through here about how the world has been destroyed and all this sort of stuff, and you're starting to find out more and more about the second impact.
Yeah.
And when you see the flooded city, it reminded me earlier on that they said that half the population died.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some bad stuff happened in the second impact.
It's the rapture.
You think that the impact was the end of the world? Or, the supposed end of the world?
Yeah, well, basically they've gone through what is biblically the rapture, right? Like half the people are dead, and the last half are set to live in the world that is slowly destroyed, right? Which the angels are starting to do. And continuously attacking only Tokyo 3.
Now, why would that be?
Who can say?
Do you think that there's a motive there, or are the angels just like kind of mindless monsters?
Oh, no, we've already discussed that part last time.
They have a certain set of
Clearly,
skills.
They're headed after something.
Yeah.
Which would we're guessing now is this Adam project, right? Obviously.
I mean, whatever that thing in that case was certainly seems like it was a big deal. They made a big deal out of it in that scene, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, but they were attacking Tokyo before that thing showed up, so there's something else going on there.
That's also true.
Yep.
I don't know that I have any new theories. I still think Ikari may be his quote-unquote dad, but...
Gendo.
Gendo may be Shinji's dad, quote-unquote, but much like Asuka had a handler and she cries about her mother in her sleep, Rei clearly has no family, they've said. Shinji may not be well loved because he may not be his actual son.
Okay. I think that's there's certainly evidence to support that here. Gendo not being very fatherly, that's for darn sure.
But I don't know. I don't know that I got any new theories out of these episodes, which is why I thought the only thing that really starts to stand out is that to me it stood out that the Christian mythology has started to become very heavy-handed.
They certainly use a lot of it, that's for sure.
Well, especially during the recap episode where you're like, okay, yes, they named all the angels. Okay, good.
All those names for the angels were in the original episodes too, but they would like flash on the computer screen or something, and you could, if you were going like frame by frame, you would see it, but you would never see it if you're just watching, casually. You're reading the subtitle or listening, seeing the actual center of the action, not reading the computer screen off to the side.
I don't know, Michael.
It was a recap, but
to you, I mean, to me, was this the same for you? That the most interesting part of this is the end of it, where you're like, the Ava flips out, and you're kind of like, okay, now we're gonna find out what's going on.
Yeah, almost more than that to me. Maybe was the all of the things that this seems to set up. Like this last episode, 14, definitely felt kind of like a turning point in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They set up that there's definitely more. There's more alive about the Avas than anyone has been led to believe, but there are also a whole bunch of other things in the works that are kind of about to be revealed, I guess.
Yeah. So I think 14 is definitely like stuff's about to kick off. You can tell, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, oh, well, Kaji's doing something, and Misato has her episode about the second impact, and you're kind of like, you get her better. Ritsuko, you got to know better because of the, they had an episode for everybody, basically. Like the first bunch of episodes were for Shinji because he's been now reinforced as the most important.
Did we get Misato's backstory in this set of episodes?
Yeah, where the whole second.
Okay. You can kind of see why she has some issues.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a pretty messed up way to get out of a disaster. Literally,
I think it's pretty amazing that they had that many families and stuff near such an apocalyptic accident.
Well, one assumes they didn't intend for it to be an apocalyptic accident.
One assumes.
Yeah.
I guess we can't put anything past Gendo at this point.
Again, apocalyptic accident. If there's any sort of Four Horsemen references coming up in the next few episodes, it's 100% the Rapture. Just saying.
Well, we only have 3 Avas so far, so...
Oh, you think the Avas are... Well, you already would know if the Avas are the Four Horsemen.
Oh, I mean, maybe there are 4 angels that come at once or something. I don't know. I mean, I do know, but I'm speculating for your benefit. I don't know. It's I think by the end of episode 14, I had a lot of questions in this. Right? It was like, man, I really want to know a lot of things here, and there aren't. There's only 26 episodes, and
I'm
guys,
glad.
we need to talk about some stuff. Let's get to the answers here.
I'm a little weirded out by the sudden-ish introduction of the Magi, but I'm glad for episodes 13 and 14, because if this was like without the sync stuff and Shinji, being inside Zero when it goes berserk and all that sort of stuff, like we'd have Gundam Wing Light if we didn't have this stuff coming at us at the end of these episodes, right?
Sure, you kind of can see the series almost falling into like the monster of the week kind of thing, where like
Definitely.
Episodes like 8 and 9, 8 has a little more like overall plot moments, but like 9 and 10 and 11 and even 12 are kind of just like, here's the random monster that we're fighting this week, guys.
Yep.
Yay.
Yep.
Even if they are some of the most fun episodes, I think, like there is some, like the Magma Diver episode is just really cool. That episode where the power is out is really fun. And even episode 13, we just get a lot more of the support staff and Ritsuko and stuff that we didn't get in the previous ones. But it definitely does feel a little kind of like, all right, we're just kind of spinning our wheels here, waiting to get to the end game where we get to the cool stuff, right?
Sure. No new theories on my end, I don't think.
Michael?
If I had anything else to throw out, I might say that a rift forms between the Ava pilots at some point. Maybe not of their own choosing, given how much control Shinji's father has over over Rei.
That seems like a reasonable guess. Teenagers being notoriously moody.
Well, but so to me that means then that there's a split between Gendo and Mitsuko, kind of like, and people start to pick sides.
Oh, you mean like people choose like, oh,
Like,
we're going to be
within
loyal
Nerve,
to...
like there's a split because people start to understand what's happening.
Well, they set that up though, right? When Misato stops the meltdown of the Eva, and she realizes that the only way that it could have happened is if somebody had programmed it to happen.
Yeah.
She realizes that she's been set up and something's going on.
Well, and there's a moment where her and Ritsuko are in a red room talking to each other after a lot of this stuff has gone down, and maybe they're starting to be a little cold towards each other.
Well, it's clear that Ritsuko knows some stuff is going on and has not told Misato, and has kind of decided she doesn't, not on the need to know basis here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Ritsuko was in on whatever happened with the battleship.
Oh, sure.
Or not the battleship, but
the nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Got to protect your investment. Yeah, I like it. I'm into it.
Yeah, definitely eager to watch more.
Sweet. Okay, so no spoilers in the email, but if you want to get hype with us about Evangelion 15 through...
Maybe we stop at 20.
20?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 15 through 20.
6 and 6. Okay.
That's too fast. That's only 6. I'm going to
Yeah,
finish those in a night.
After that, I think.
You need to stop at 6. You need to stop at 20, or else we are going to go... The next good stopping point is no. So you should stop at 20.
Okay.
All right, 15 through 20.
And then maybe we'll do the last ones after that or something.
Sounds good. We'll continue to do this at the end of episodes where we talk about games and then multimedia stuff like Netflix has going on. You know, don't watch that Ultraman show. Don't give that clicks. I tried.
It's not worth it.
I've still watched a couple episodes of One Punch Man. That seems good.
Oh, dude. We got to talk about One Punch Man. Michael has to finish this first, I think, before he can watch One Punch Man.
You both need to finish this first before we talk about anything else.
Okay.
We'll get there.
All right. If you liked One Punch Man, email us at...
Yeah. That's going to be podcast@wewergamers.com. And subject line One Punch Man rules.
Talk about your favorite monster from One Punch Man, and JJ and I will both respond to you.
Yes. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at wewergamers, also at wewergamers on Instagram and on Facebook. Check us out all those places. And these very episodes will go up on YouTube. If you search for We Were Gamers on there and hit the subscribe and little notify button on there, that will be a great boon to us. And sometimes you might even get the episodes early, unbeknownst to you.
And me.
Unbeknownst to everyone, really. So, that's a little treat for you YouTube subscribers.
Man, I can't believe we jacked it up that bad. And by we, I mean I.
Yeah.
I was just watching too much Evangelion.
Yeah, it was too good. That was the problem.
Yeah, something got into my computer. I think it was an angel.
Your system was being overloaded.
It was corrupted. It was in the corruption zone, according to the...
Oh, yeah.
You lost all 3 Magi.
Yeah. It was... My computer was weak to ozone, and then it evolved.
The RAM, the CPU, and the holy video card all together didn't unify their power. Or something.